Chesley McNeil, we are watching a little bit of history here. A Category 4 hurricane making landfall over in the Big Bend area. We've never seen this before, at least a major hurricane making landfall in this particular area. You can see the eye of the hurricane, pretty strong down here to the south, and became a little bit more broad once it started to move a little bit closer inland, and now just making landfall as we speak. That would be the tip of the center of circulation right there, where the strongest winds are. Now just starting to move in to an area that's not very populated. In fact, the closest town I could find to where this eye wall is would be Fish Creek right there. Cedar Key here. So we were looking at that particular area, right? You can see the eye north of that area now, and you can see the onshore flow continuing. So a lot of heavy rain, gusty winds here, and it's the brunt of the impact really will be felt or is being felt in the Gainesville area. You can see those bands that are sliding through there. We've seen tornado warnings already. There are tornado watches in effect, and of course the flooding associated with all this heavy rain. This storm, or at least the eye, will continue to slide further inland, and that's where it will weaken. But it's a Category 4 hurricane, so will maintain its hurricane strength as it slides across the peninsula of Florida into the state of Georgia as well, likely being a Category 2 hurricane still once it gets up toward the Valdosta area. Already starting to see the rain in this particular area. It's been very heavy. Tornado warnings in and around this area. In fact, we still have a tornado warning out there right now just to the north and east of Valdosta. This will continue to be the case as that eye continues to push further off to the north. Winds in the Valdosta area, for example, could be around 100 miles per hour. You're talking about power outages, definitely. Trees down, flooding in this particular area, and then it will start to slide a little bit further over toward the north and east. And so you have hurricane warnings from, let's say, Valdosta over to Savannah for today. The rain continuing to slide further off to the north, impacting the Macon area right now, where we are. Nothing much going on. We had some showers through the overnight. Those showers have dissipated, and so we're left with the clouds. Those clouds start to break up a little bit, so we may get a little bit of sunshine in here, but we are anticipating some of these outer bands impacting our area in the form of light rain. There may be some heavier pockets where we have some thunderstorms popping up. Not anticipating that taking place until we get toward the afternoon, but it seems the storm has picked up a little bit more speed, forward speed. So maybe seeing this as early as noon, some scattered showers pushing in. Again, a few embedded thunderstorms. As the storm pushes by the area, our conditions will start to get a little bit better. Now, we're only expecting minimal impacts around here, okay? Minimal impacts. There is a flood watch, as you can see, for 3 of our counties. This is our southernmost counties, Jasper, Putnam, Greene County here, under a flood watch until early morning Thursday, about 2 a.m. We could see as much as 10 inches in some spots. Now, I think that will be southeast of our 3 counties here, but maybe up to 8 inches, 6 inches of rainfall, depending on how close that eye gets to our area and how much it spreads the rain further back over toward the west. Certainly not looking at that much over toward the Atlanta metro area. We could see maybe, again, up to an inch in some spots. Not expecting much heavy rain at all. This is the latest from the Hurricane Center, now down to a Category 3. Again, as the storm is now making landfall here in the 7 a.m. hour. Winds down to 125 miles per hour. So this is still a very strong Category 3 hurricane. Again, once it gets up to 130 mile per hour winds, that's when it's a Category 4. So it maintained its Category 4 strength until it began to make landfall. Now that it's impacting the land, starting to add some friction there, and that's where we start to see a lot of these tornadoes, these quick spinning tornadoes begin to break out. Right along this line is where you have the hurricane warnings. And so this will continue to slide further off to the north and will begin to spread a lot of rainfall, as it has already started, heavy rainfall, and those winds will start to pick up a little bit as the center of circulation gets closer to South Georgia. As a Category 2, possibly again over toward the Valdosta area with winds up to 100 miles per hour. That will continue to slide over toward the northeast, and so not making its way further north toward the Atlanta metro area, but over into parts of Savannah, where those winds could be down to about 75 miles per hour as it gets closer to the South Carolina border. But that's still at hurricane strength, really not getting to tropical storm strength until it begins to move back out to sea. And so expecting that to take place later on this evening into the wee hours of the morning. So much of the day we'll be dealing with this down into southeastern Georgia, southeastern parts of the state. That's where the brunt of the impact will be, and we'll be experiencing this throughout much of the day. You'll be hearing about some of those impacts, no doubt, especially when it comes to the flooding with all the heavy rain associated with this, and also the winds that are associated with it. Along our shore, we'll be feeling that brunt as well. Keep in mind that the heaviest impacts are typically to the right northeastern corridor of the storm. And so you're talking about a lot of that storm surge coming right on in along our coastline. And so they will be battered and bruised by this particular storm, again, in category 2 down to the south, and then starting to weaken a little bit as it begins to move to the north. But much of the day, you're talking about that storm surge coming in, which has already started in some spots. This map shows us where the hurricane warnings are. We have hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings as well. That yellow indicates a tropical storm watch. Much of our state, as you can see under the hurricane, which is red and blue tropical storm warnings that we have out there. So you're looking at, again, Valdosta all the way over to Savannah. We have those hurricane warnings, and then the blue indicates where we have the tropical storm warnings. You're looking at places like Statesboro all the way into Macon, where we can see tropical storm force winds through the day as well. Those winds get a little weaker as you start to head further up toward Atlanta. In fact, sustained winds for us maybe up to about 15 miles per hour at times today. Gusts could be a little bit higher than that, maybe up to the 20, 25 mile per hour range. That heavy rain down here to the southeast as well, in excess of 10, maybe 12 inches in some spots. It starts to slacken off a little bit as we get closer and closer to where we are. Again, expecting less than an inch, less than a half an inch in a lot of spots. You may get a few pockets where we'll get up to an inch of rain, but really the heaviest rain stays down to the south and east of our area. Here's a better look at it closer to home now. You can see the heaviest rain down here to the south and east. And then for us, you got spots where we're reporting 0, right? I think we will get some rain from those outer bands that move through. Where we have some embedded thunderstorms in a few of those lines is where we could see that rain get up to about an inch or so, but again, not as heavy. Now, where we have the thunderstorms, it will be some heavier rain. I don't think the thunderstorms will be as strong as we experienced the last couple of days. Monday and Tuesday, we had some pretty hefty thunderstorms roll through our area with some long-lasting rain, which led to some flash flooding in our area. I don't think that will be the case for us today. Very minimal impacts as far as the weather goes for us. Here's how it times out for us hour by hour. You can see where we have the clouds in place this morning. So those of you who are trying to get out and about this morning don't have to worry about any hurricane force winds, any hurricane-like conditions around here. In fact, our weather is very calm, at least for this morning. We are looking at just a few clouds overhead, and the winds are on the light side. In fact, we have calm winds in some spots. It won't be until we get toward mid-morning and into the afternoon that those winds will start to increase just a little bit, and a chance for a few showers could break out. Now, the outer bands could move into our area after about 2 or 3 o'clock. We'll see scattered showers, a few embedded thunderstorms in a couple of those. Again, could drop some brief heavy rain on you, a few lightning strikes as well, but again, not as intense as we saw it just yesterday. Expect that to be the case, let's say from 2 o'clock this afternoon, right on through about 9 o'clock tonight. 10 o'clock tonight, we'll keep the threat for the showers in place. But after that, our conditions get much better. As you can see, we start to dry it out just a little bit, and our conditions will bring sunshine to the area as we head into Thursday. And right on through the holiday weekend, the weather will be mighty nice around here. So we're getting better. Talk about those minimal impacts. That's what you can expect. Again, here in the metro area, winds will be gusty at times. And so you're talking about a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, but the gust could get up to 20, 25 miles per hour at times. We're not talking about sustainable right on through the day, but at times we'll have those gusty winds. The scattered showers and thunderstorms will be around, but we're not anticipating much in the way of any severe weather here. Most of that severe weather should remain down to the south and east of our forecast area, with a few, we'll say, pop-up thunderstorms are certainly possible in our area, just to the south and east of us. Our southeasternmost counties more likely to see tornadoes, those brief spin-up tornadoes, if any happen at all, and so we'll watch out for that. Again, as I said, our conditions get better as the days go on, and so you're looking at conditions later on tonight settling down, skies clearing out. We'll wake up with the sunshine as we head into Thursday morning. It's going to be a pretty nice day for us. Notice we have a few clouds around, and we'll hold on to a very, very small threat for an isolated shower or two to pop up. I think most of that will be over toward the east of us as well, if we see anything at all. So we'll hold on to a 20% chance, a very low chance for an isolated shower or two as we head into Thursday. By Friday, you're going to notice a few more clouds moving back into the area. Partly to mostly cloudy skies looks to be the call on our forecast model here. So we will get some sunshine in, but you see those clouds trying to overtake the area. And the good news is that there's no rain coming out of those clouds at all for your Friday. We look great, and we'll stay that way for much of the day Friday, and then finally start to clear it out again as we head into Saturday and remain nice. Our forecast remains nice right on through the holiday weekend. So you talk about Monday, Tuesday, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will finally heat back up into the low 90s by then. 2 major hurricanes is what we're talking about here. All right, we've been talking about Idalia, which has made landfall now and continues to slide further off to the north. But look at this. Another Category 4 hurricane. This is Franklin. If Idalia wasn't around, this is what we'd be focusing on, a very powerful and very large hurricane as well. No doubt having an impact on Bermuda right now, but not a direct impact or direct landfall. Let's put it that way. So the strongest winds that is right around the eye of this, staying or remaining out to sea. And so this will continue to slide further off toward the north and east as well, not posing much of a threat. But two major hurricanes in close proximity at that, if you will. But our focus will be on Idalia for today. Again, the hurricane has made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane as of this hour, 7 o'clock hour. The Hurricane Center has downgraded this to a Category 3, which is still a major hurricane, as it continues, the eye continues to push further inland. I think we'll have to look and see the official report, but whether or not it will be classified as a Category 4 making landfall or as a Category 3 making landfall, either way, you're talking about winds less than 5 miles per hour. So as a Category 4, it was up to 130 miles per hour. As a Category 3, 125 miles per hour. And so you're still talking about a major hurricane for the first time hitting the Big Bend area, and that landfall likely around a town. I was only able to find a town called Fish Creek nearby where that eye was set to make landfall. And so you're talking about not a very highly populated area. This was just to the north of Cedar Creek, or Cedar Key rather, which is about right there. And you can see that eye heading further to the north of that. Tallahassee would be right in here. All right. And so this will have major impacts on places like Lake City, Florida, right, as it continues to push further off to the north. Already the heavy rain and also those gusty winds associated with it, and will continue to push further into South Georgia as we head through the day today, probably making it over into South Georgia as it crosses the border as either a Category 3 or Category 2 hurricane, as it will hold on to that strength. Again, you can see how wide, how large this hurricane is. The rains already impacting much of our state, in the southern portions of the state, I should say, and then those winds impacting the southern portion of the state as well. It's mainly this area right here. So throughout the southeast that will have the heaviest impacts as far as those winds go. You can see the onshore flow coming in for our coastal areas right now. And that will continue to be the case for the next couple of hours as well. And so you got a lot of heavy storm surge coming in here, no doubt flooding here. And I think that flooding will extend all the way into the Macon area. All right, as far to the west is Macon today, experiencing some of that flash flooding that will begin to take place with that heavy rain that's going to be coming down. The further north you get into Atlanta and further north, you're not looking at very heavy impacts at all as far as any heavy rain. The winds will be a bit gusty, but not as strong as they will be here in the southeast. And you will be hearing about, no doubt, reports of not only flash flooding, but power outages as well. Trees being locked down, power lines being knocked down. It's just going to be a rough go of it. Hopefully, folks in that particular area, especially if you have loved ones, neighbors, friends in these areas, just stay at home. Or if they can come up to our way, if they can just spend the day up here further to the north, that would be a good idea, as this storm will have some lasting impacts as it continues to push through. If there's good news with it, it is going to be a pretty quick mover. When you talk about a hurricane, a landfalling hurricane could have longer impacts in certain spots. And so this will move right on through. It has been moving to the north so far at about a good 18, 17 miles per hour. As it moves inland or further inland, it will encounter some friction, so there may be a little bit of a slowdown, but we'll see. I'm expecting it to maintain that strength and also continue to maintain that speed as it continues to push forward. But again, for us, you're talking about minor impacts around here, and temperatures and our conditions getting better over the next couple of days. In fact, we have a couple tens here on the wazometer from Friday right on through Sunday, looking pretty good around the area, with temperatures remaining in the 80s through then, back to the 90s by the time we get to Labor Day, and we'll continue that as we head into